Well, it was a good news and a bad news night for the Dodgers. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Welcome to Dodgers Latest. You can always hit me up on X and on Instagram at JRodShow. Wild night at the Ravine. Dodgers win 8-7. They sweep the Colorado Rockies. Dodgers improved to 14-6, 10-2 at home. So they have really feasted on the home cooking, and the Rockies, man, they are just brutal. They just cannot get out of their own way. Dodgers win 8-7, start a 5-game road trip. They go to Texas and Wrigley Field next weekend. And now we have to break down what happened last night. Listen, we said the good and the bad. Listen, 7-run first inning. Dodgers had a 7-1 lead, but win 8-7. Bobby Miller almost gave it all back. And that's something that really we will get into. The bullpen, once again, shining for the Dodgers. 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 9 strikeouts in relief of Bobby Miller. It's amazing what that core of relievers have done. And Shohei Ohtani, once again, putting on a show. 448-foot home run to right field. Almost hit it out of Dodger Stadium. Dave Roberts said if it was a day game, that would have gone into the parking lot. And that, got me thinking, who are the guys that have hit balls completely out of Dodger Stadium? Well, there have been 3 players. There have been Willie Stargell of the Pirates, Mark McGwire when he was with the Cardinals, and Mike Piazza when he was with the Dodgers. Stargell is the only left-hander to do it, and he did it twice. So that's something to think about, especially with Shohei Ohtani, who has come close, hitting it deep into the pavilion out in right field. So the Dodgers start a road trip with a good homestand, end up having a winning homestand, winning 4 out of 6, losing 2 out of 3 to the Cubs, but then getting 3 straight against the Rockies. But I'll tell you what, NL West is tough. Padres keep winning, right? Dodgers at 14-6 in 3rd place in the National League West. So it's going to be a fun time all the way around. Now, more of the good news from last night, the bottom of the order. Yeah, finally, we have been talking about it a lot, how they have struggled. Well, the trio last night of Max Muncy, Andy Pages, and Austin Barnes really came through. Look at those numbers. 5 for 11, 5 runs batted in, and 4 runs scored. Listen, they're all still hitting under 200, but that will essentially get the Dodgers going. We've talked about that Shohei Ohtani coming into this Colorado series had only batted with runners in scoring position 7 times this year. And that's the lack of success from the bottom of the order. But they really showed out last night, having a great night. And maybe we're starting to see this a little bit. Dodgers heading to Texas, which is a big hitter-friendly ballpark, so hoping to see some more runs overs if you're into the sports betting concepts as the Dodgers head to Texas. And in that weekend series, well, it's going to be the same guys that pitched over the weekend last time. It'll be Yamamoto on Friday, Sasaki on Saturday, and Tyler Glasnow on Sunday in Texas before they head over to the north side. Other things to talk about, well, what about Bobby Miller? It's kind of crazy what we've seen with Bobby Miller, right? It's an interesting situation. He was so good for so long his rookie year of 2023, but look at those numbers. They just jump out at you. Last night, 3 innings, 6 earned runs, including a grand slam, 8 hits, 7 strikeouts though, which is crazy. And over his last 4 starts, if you go back to last year, 23 earned runs in 14 and a third innings pitch, 25 hits. That's a wild whip. He does have 19 strikeouts in those 14 and a third. So the stuff is there. He struck out 7 last night, but you just got to wonder what has happened. Have you seen a guy take a bigger drop-off than Bobby Miller has from one year to the next? And it's crazy to see why. I mean, we saw a lot of he couldn't master the off-speed pitch last night, leaving the ball up, having to throw fastballs. And I don't care who you are, even the Colorado Rockies, who were shut out 3 straight games before they came into Dodger Stadium and kind of whooped up on the starting pitching and whooped up on Bobby Miller. You have to throw fastballs. You leave it over the plate. These are still major league hitters, and Bobby Miller's struggling. And that, of course, brings me back to what we've talked about before about, well, if he struggles and there's nothing you can do with him, because at this point, going to AAA isn't going to help him. It's now working on the big league level. What do you do with Bobby Miller? What about Bobby? Do you keep him? Do you keep throwing him out there? Because we know what a long marathon 162 games is, meaning you're going to have injuries. He took over for Blake Snell last night, who should be coming back, hopefully, off the injured list with that inflammation of the shoulder. Do you give him another start? I think you do. I think Dave Roberts, the one thing about Dave is that he's very loyal. And as long as he sees the guys working and that potential and those 19 strikeouts and 14 in the third innings, his last 4 starts will tell you that. I think you give him another start, but at this point, you have to start thinking about, all right, can you trade him? Do you include him in any kind of a deal? Because we've talked about Lewis Robert. I think a James Outman, Bobby Miller package, and maybe another minor leaguer could be very attractive for a Lewis Robert, maybe Brandon Lowe of the Rays. Tampa always looking for pitching, and I know Gleyber Torres has been kind of rumored out there for the Tigers. But that arm is electric. He needs to get well for the Dodgers both to keep him or to be able to trade him and figure it out. And finally, Clayton Kershaw was back on the mound, albeit in AAA yesterday. 3 scoreless innings, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, 30 pitches for Kershaw in his first rehab start. He hasn't pitched since last August when he injured his toe. He's had toe surgery. He's had knee surgery. He's on the 60-day IL, so he is not eligible to come off that until the end of May. So I'm sure we'll probably have another, if not 2 more rehab starts for him. Curious to see what they're going to do with him and how they bring him along if Kershaw becomes sort of like, I envision Clayton Kershaw to be sort of an opener, right? A guy that maybe starts games, pitches 1 or 2 innings, and then you get him out of there. You just don't know how at 37 years old, how much the body can take. Listen, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. His number 22 is going to be up in the rafters when it's all said and done. Probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest Dodger pitcher, with all due respect to Sandy Koufax. But you just got to wonder how much that body is going to be able to take. Now, they do get him fresh if he comes back in June or if he comes back after the All-Star game. So they'll have a fresh Clayton Kershaw. But when those things start to happen, your knees, your back, your toes, Mother Nature and Father Time are both undefeated. So hopefully Clayton will be back, started on the right foot, literally, by pitching well in Oklahoma City with those 3 scoreless innings. No game today. Dodgers in Texas on the weekend. We'll get back to you and tell you all that's going on. I'm Jim Rodriguez. Hit me up on X and Instagram at JRodShow. This is Dodgers Latest.